What's going on, Brick fans? Today I am super excited to show you guys what I've been working on recently. As I've been saying in my news video, I've been working on these Lego designs for Pokemon, and today is the day that I'll be revealing what I've actually been able to accomplish. So as always, let me know what you guys think of these designs. Of course, also like the video, and if you're new here, subscribe if you like what's going on. So let's get right into it. Now this first design, of course, we have to start with Pokédex entry number 1, which is Bulbasaur. And for some of these Pokemon, I'm going to be doing some changes. Some of them are going to be minor and some of them are going to be pretty major. For Bulbasaur, however, I really like what I've got here, and so I don't think I'm going to be changing anything about this model. One of the things that you guys are going to see is I want to create unique stickers for the eyes and in some cases mouths as well. Because of the scale of these models, I couldn't actually build in a mouth for Bulbasaur, so I want to be able to have the option of having a sticker for it, and I think I've found some good ways to make some custom stickers for them. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what that would potentially kind of look like, and here that is right now. Of course, this is not some kind of final thing. All of these are rendered pictures, and I am using the studio software from Bricklinks. So all of these designs are pieced together on a computer program, and then that program can render images that look like actual Legos, and so that's what all these are. So for the stickers, I essentially photoshopped those in. So once again, these are not finalized stickers, these are just rough estimates of what it might look like. So I only did mock stickers for 3 of the Pokemon we're going to be seeing today, and just to give you guys an idea of what we'll be seeing, I've got 7 Pokemon today for you guys to see. So let's move right along and check out Ivysaur. Now with Ivysaur, I'm not entirely happy with the color for his bulb, so I might be changing that. One of the things about this program that I'm using is the colors don't exactly look the same as they do when they're fully rendered. So that was the case with Ivysaur. He looks fine, but if I can find a way to change the color of that bulb, I think I might try to. I really like the design. Unfortunately, some of the pieces that I used for the bulb do not come in the more lighter pink that I'd be looking for. And so that's one of the big challenges with doing these Lego designs, is that I'm running into a lot of problems where some of these pieces that I'd like to use, you can't actually buy these pieces. They're not in the colors that I'd be looking for, and so I have to find other pieces that would be suitable. So one of the things to kind of note here is that all of these Pokemon that I'm going to show you, they're 100% buyable and buildable. There aren't any pieces being used that are colors you can't get, nothing like that, which is something I noticed online. I am looking around for other people's designs to kind of get an idea of what other people are doing, but I've seen a lot of cases where they're making their Pokemon with pieces using colors that are not available to buy. And so what's the point of that? I guess just to show that it's possible to make something with certain pieces, but ultimately what I'd like to do is possibly buy some of these guys, build them, and show you guys on the channel. Now that won't be possible with 100% of the characters that I'm going to be designing, simply because that would be a really expensive endeavor. But that is enough of Ivysaur. Let's go ahead and move on to Venusaur. Now this guy is probably going to get a lot of changes, and I'll be honest, this character almost ruined this project. It took me a long time to figure out how to do his head. I'm still not 100% liking the head that he's got, so that might change as well. But another piece of him that is probably going to change are some of the aspects of his legs. I think I can make them a little more accurate to the character, so I'm going to try to do that. But overall, I really like what I've been able to do here. I will say that I have been looking for other people's versions of these characters done in Lego, and I did take some inspiration for this guy from some of those people, so not all of these guys are going to be like 100% my own imagination coming through on these things. When someone does something that I think works, I'm gonna kind of add that to my design. I just don't want you guys to think that I am the sole imagination for this whole project. But with Venusaur, he's going to obviously have those stickers for his eyes, and I might make some stickers for the warts that he's got as well. And then here is the entire Bulbasaur line all together. I think the scaling is really good for them, so I'm really happy on how that turned out. And what I'm doing for the scaling, as I mentioned it, these are obviously not scaled to the size of a minifigure, okay? What I'm doing is I take a minifigure and I consider that to be 2 feet. And so for the case of Venusaur, he should be the size of 3 minifigures standing on top of each other. For the case of Bulbasaur, it should be 1. And then Ivysaur is like 1.5. But with this line, the scaling is definitely coming through. So I'm really happy about that. Now, in my previous news video, I had said that I am working on the Bulbasaur line and the Pikachu line. But since the time of that recording and the time of this recording, I've also been able to complete Charmander and Charmeleon. And so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys those now instead of waiting for the next video. So here is Charmander, and this is one of my most solid ones I think I've done so far. I don't think there's anything that I'd like to change about him. I think he was done really well. The only thing I might change is just a few tweaks with the fire on his tail. There might be a few yellow and red bricks that I might add here and there to make it look a little more dynamic. But that's probably the only thing. And then here is Charmander with the mock stickers for his eyes and his mouth. And that's another thing I'd like to kind of talk about, is that Mega Construx, for instance, sometimes comes out with different face plates for a character like Charmander, so he'll have a different facial expression. What I'd like to do is basically create a small sheet of stickers for a character like Charmander and have a variety of different eyes and mouths that can go on him. And then I would decide, okay, this is the one I'd like to use right now. And then maybe I could get extra pieces for the eye and the mouth area so that I can swap those out. I probably won't do that, but just as an example, that's something that could happen. So really, I would have everything I need to have different facial expressions on these characters. And moving right along to Charmeleon, I really like this guy as well. There is just one tweak I think I'd make, and that's with his legs. I think I'll change them up just a bit, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with where he is right now. Once again, same as Charmander, I'd probably do just a little bit of tweaking with his fire as well, but I think everything else is pretty good. And I did not make any mock stickers for Charmeleon, and here is Charmander and Charmeleon side by side. Once again, I think the scaling is great on these guys. But as always, let me know what you guys think of these designs. And then finally, we have Pikachu. And here's my thoughts of this series that I'll be doing. I want to start off designing Generation 1 and completing Generation 1, starting with number 1 and ending with number 151. However, I couldn't make my first Pokemon Lego design video without having Pikachu. I feel like you gotta do Pikachu as one of your first designs. So that's why he's in this video instead of later on, where he actually is in the Pokédex. And then of course, Pikachu is the last Pokemon in this video that I did a mock-up for the stickers, and here is that. And then finally, the last Pokemon to show is Raichu. And out of all the Pokemon that I've shown you guys, this one is probably going to get the most reworks. This right here is really a rough first draft. So there's quite a few things that I already know that I want to change about him, but I figured I'd put out this video to show you guys kind of what's going on, and then we move on from there. I'm going to be finalizing what I need to finalize, and I'll show you guys the end result. So don't think of this as the final versions of these characters just yet. Some of them are in a really good spot, others of them need a little work. But I'm showing you all these now because I think they're in a relatively good spot, and I think they're ready to be shown. And then here is Pikachu and Raichu side by side. Once again, I think the scaling is really good for this. But as we speak about Pikachu, I would also like to put out there a little bit of my future plans for this series, and that is once I finish Generation 1, I would then like to go on and design the alternate versions of all of Generation 1. So like Alolan Raichu or Alolan Meowth, or you know, the various different things. Geodude has an Alolan form. Then we have like Meowth having that alternate version from the newest Pokemon games. So that's the next place that I'd like to go with this, is just doing the alternate forms for Generation 1. And then from there, I'd really like to work on the Mega Evolutions for Generation 1. But once again, that is way far out into the future. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through Generation 1, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But I did want to let you guys know that that's kind of where my headspace is at. That's where I'm planning on going with this. And of course, once all of those are done, I'd be going right into Generation 2. But that's another thing with, say, the Pikachu line, is that we can't finish his line until we get to Generation 2. And that's something that kind of bothers me, but I figure it's best to just get Generation 1 out of the way at the detriment of completing some of these evolution lines. But let me know what you all think of what I've got so far. I'm really excited about this project. I hope you guys are too. That's all I've got for you right now. The next video in this series, I'm planning on having Charizard and then the Squirtle line finished, so that's probably what you'll be seeing next. Hopefully I'll finalize these designs in this video by then as well, and I can reveal those in the next video in the series. But until then, take care.